Hey everyone, welcome to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so welcome and time to paint along. So grab a brush, grab some models, grab some paint. Let's get some models painted, you know? It's time to have some fun, get some work done, have a great time, I'll ramble. And of course, I'm in such a good mood today, I'm wearing my orange Happy Painting shirt. Look at this, Happy Painting. And if you want your own Happy Painting shirt, go to miniwargamerj.spreadshirt.com and purchase one for yourself. This week, actually, I think it's 15% off with a promotional coupon that is on the website. So it's good stuff. Good time to pick up your own Happy Painting shirt. And yeah, today I'm starting my Space Marine faction. I've already have a few models painted up for the Imperial Fists, and that's the faction of Space Marines I will be going with today. Because, yeah, I always wanted to do yellow army. And I realized after the codex came out, I have, like, just lying around my workshop, I probably have an entire demi-company worth of models. And I could figure I have a couple other models painted, so I actually could make an army for battle reports. It may not be the most competitive, but it'll be fun. So I figured let's paint it along. So today I'm going to be painting up some tactical marines, and maybe some assault marines for my demi-company. And yeah, let's get started. Hey everyone! So this is my beginnings of my Imperial Knights army. Look at that. So I'm just going to get this guy in focus. So that way we can keep painting, and you guys can actually see what I'm working on. So yeah, so far I've used my airbrush. Now, great thing is if you're starting an army is to get an airbrush. I heavily zenithalled it, so it's a huge gradient. But I wanted that heavy shadowing on my guys, so that you look them for normal, they look normal, but it's actually some heavy shadowing. Looks good, gives them a lot of character. And so far I've done like a zenithal appearance on them using my airbrush, and then hit them with the satin varnish. It only took me about 20 minutes, you know, not bad at all. And so now I'm going to take my Cassandor yellow shading, and I am going to apply it to the recesses. And this is probably going to take me the rest of the video, because it will take a while. Actually, it probably won't take me all, 60 minutes, but we'll see. So right now I'm going to just take my Cassandor shade, and I'm going to just shade it intentionally, put it in the recesses, and get it all nice and pretty. Because of the surface tension of the varnish, I can actually wipe it away with my finger if I make any mistake or too heavily shade it, and so forth. But it's cool. I'm finally starting my Imperial Fists army, and it's kind of cool that I can actually, I actually have a good amount of models, surprisingly. I have enough to build a demi-company easily. And what else? So demi-company is now the center of the army, right? They're the core of your army with these formations. With the new codex, by the way, if you want to see my new codex review, go check it out. It has a bit of an echo, just to let you know, as you guys fairly pointed out to me, which I understand there was, but Patrick and I, we found the room in the house that was the best suited for it. The other rooms even had worse than an echo. It was an empty house. That's the problem, but it was okay. The information was good, and the quality of video was definitely nowhere near as bad as our Blood Angel Codex review. So in a way, we're improving. But the new Space Marine Codex is interesting. I want to see how this dries. I may not want to do it. It looks okay. Gives a little character. It's interesting. It's pretty powerful. Frankly, if I had the Vindicators right now, I'd just do the Vindicator spam list. Bring like 9 Vindicators in a core. Pray you go first, and if you do, just annihilate your opponent. Because now the Vindicators, most of the tanks now for Space Marines can be taken in groups of 3s. And if you do, and it depends on the rules. Some of them, like, if you bring 3 Land Raiders, for example, they are independent. They're not a squadron. But if you bring 3 of them, and they're within 6 inches of the other, they become really cool. Kind of like Invincible Behemoth cool. Because they ignore everything until the effects of anything until they're destroyed. So that's pretty cool. So that's probably what the first thing I'm going to run, because I have 3 Land Raiders. 2 of them are not Imperial Fists. Like one's a Dark Angel one and one's a Grey Knight one, but that'll be okay. Like I can minimal proxy, right? Mark of Dave. And that'd be cool. The one formation as well I really want to try is the Librarian one, which I have the models for. Where you can just, bring Librarians and have them go crazy. Like, just cast crazy amounts of powers on 3-ups or 2-ups. Get powers off. Which is just beyond powerful. I would personally try to go either Demonology, if I had demons that I could summon, or, like, I don't know, Vortex of Doom. See if I can Vortex of Doom my opponent. Just have some fun. You don't really have to worry about paraling. Well, you have to worry about paraling, but essentially, if like a Vortex of Doom, if you can get it so that you pass psychic tests on like 2-ups. So if that's the case, and with Tigurius you can re-roll them, so I would just throw exactly the number of dice that you need, and re-roll the ones and pray you don't get that that bad luck against you. But not bad. Bit of a distance. So these are going to be just my tabletop standard, not crazy high standard Space Marines, because I really want to build an army quickly and have them on the table as soon as possible, because everyone wants me to play vanilla Space Marines. It's really weird. I have 2 other Space Marine factions, Grey Knights and Dark Angels. Dark Angels kind of suck, but they're one of my favorite factions of Space Marines. But they're not very good on the tabletop right now, but they're getting a new codex in like a week anyway. Space Marines was less than a week ago. Dark Angels is a week from Saturday. I'm guessing there'll be an announcement video tomorrow or Saturday, and then week from Saturday, new codex. Yep. Which is cool. So that'll be fun. I should talk about my week. I've had a busy week. See, as I said, these weeks just fly by. They really do. They really do. Feels just like yesterday. I was doing a painting with Jay. Now I'm doing a painting with Jay again. As you can see, it's a very heavy Zenithal, and I'm okay with that. As I said, it just creates a lot of heavy shadowing. So you take the model, he looks good, but so these are going to be my little studio army of Space Marines. Eventually I'm going to have to get some Devastators and stuff, but Centurions, because they're fun. But besides that, yeah, there's not a lot. Like, I already have a demi-company worth of models that I just need to paint. I have Lysander. So far, for my Imperial Knights army, anybody knows this, because like he was in Face Off. So I have Lysander already, and he can replace a captain. So there's already, a person for my demi-company. And I already have Land Raider painted up in Imperial Knight or Imperial Fist colors. And what else do I have? That's basically, and a Rhino. So that combined, that's already a few hundred points, worth. And for the demi company, I need 3 tactical squads, which what I'm painting up right now is almost 3 tactical squads worth. I'm painting up right now, I think about 15. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 13. Tactical Marines, and I only need 15 to bring for my demi company, and So that's good. So that's almost there. And then I need a Devastator squad, which I have assembled. I need an Assault squad, which I don't know if you can see this, but there's 5 of them right there. So... And what else do I need? I think that's about it. There's not that much needed. Dreadnought is optional, which I have. I have 2 Dreadnoughts. Oops. I was going to make some of these for, like... The thing is, I have a lot of these models because I was going to use some of them for my Dark Angel army, which I still might, depending on what I want to do with the Dreadnoughts. And what else? You know, I was going to use some of these guys I said for my Dark Angels and stuff, and I decided to just make them vanilla Space Marines. It's okay. As I said, people really want me to play vanilla Space Marines. And the other one that people really want to play is Dark Eldar, but I don't have the time to build a Dark Eldar army because I don't have the models, unfortunately, at the moment. They're cool too, but... So, vanilla Space Marines and Dark Eldar were the 2 most requested armies that I play. I don't, yeah, as I said, I guess because, well, to be fair, vanilla Space Marines are the most popular army, so. And there's people like Scary that play Dark Eldar very nicely, so. And if you look at the big names like Mini Wargaming, they really don't have a Space Marine. I know they have their own Space Marine faction, right? But they don't play it very often. So, I'll represent that. If you want me to play some vanilla Marine games in the near future, I'll play some. And have a good time doing it. And I know that Imperial Fists aren't the most competitive of the Space Marine factions, because their Bolter Drill is cool, but it's not like the craziest one like White Scars, where they all get skilled rider and can just drive around you in a hilarious fashion with hit and run and everything, or Salamanders, which have a cool, some funky rules, and or Ultramarines, but what else? White Scars are still in my opinion. Yeah. So, but it's cool. I don't care. I'm going to play them. I play Dark Angels, so. Maybe I'll play some, like, Space Marines with some Grey Knight allies or something, or at the beginning, just to get them in the game. Yeah, we'll see. I have a little bit of time before my next film at my battle report, I'm thinking. Yeah, I could probably get these guys looking good. With I'm guessing they'll be okay with you guys, but I might do a battle report or 2 with not completely painted models, and that's okay. I'll warn people. My models are on the way to being good. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not mini wargaming size. That I can just be like, oh, I want a new army, and then people, put it all together for me, and I have a new army. Nothing against that, but it's just not my style, right? I have to work and get it together. So I'll be painting, 2,000 points of Space Marines over the next month or so that I can play in battle reports for y'all. That's okay. Look at this. We're 13 minutes in, and I am wearing my happy painting shirt. Life is good. So I should talk about what happened over the last week. Let's talk quickly. So I went and visited my friend. And the cool thing about using the term friend is I'd consider him a friend, Patrick. But we've never met in person. We've only talked over Skype and stuff, so it's one of those cool relationships, and the e-relationships. And I went and visited him in Quebec. And we had a good time. We did our codex review. I learned how poor my French is. Well, I can understand a good amount. I can speak a tiny bit, un petit peu, I learned how to say crazy eyes, which is les yeux fous in French, and it was cool. You know, we had a good time. Unfortunately, Patrick was pretty much the only one there who could speak English, which nothing against that, obviously, because you know Quebec is that area of Quebec is a primarily French-speaking area, and I don't blame them for not speaking English. Like I don't speak much French, and it's the same logic, right? Why for me to expect them to speak perfect English is the same as them expecting me to speak French, which in this area of Ontario really doesn't happen either. So I know it's not, no one's fault there or anything. I just, so a lot of it was hard to understand. It was fun. And it's cool because you go to like Quebec and it's not that far from here, but it's like its own little country in the sense that, again, like the language, if you don't speak French or you don't read French, it really does change quickly. All of a sudden all the signs appear in French and you gotta get used to it. But it was a great time. Really good time. I would definitely do it again. I will one day soon. And it was cool being able to, very few times I get the time off to just go visit like he's been a long time supporter of my videos and my work, and it was really cool just to go meet him. It was. And it turns out he lived like around the block from where my brother-in-law got married in Quebec, so it was cool. Because I have iodine all over myself because the Casador yellow. But yeah, good time. We did our codex review. I should put up my vlog. I filmed a vlog. I just haven't had time to edit it. We did an epic stare-off. I gotta edit that one too because we filmed it. And yeah, we filmed a battle report. The battle report is up at the moment. It was this week's battle report. In the free content, Blood Angels versus Grey Knights. It was fun. Good game. It's one of those games where, man, the cards just did not go my way. I'm not ruining who wins or anything, but oh my goodness, the first like 2 or 3 turns, I was getting no card that could help me in Maelstrom. Which happens, and that's one of the risks of Maelstrom War, obviously. I love Maelstrom, though. But that's one of people's arguments against Maelstrom, is the fact that, a good general can lose in Maelstrom because of the cards. That unfortunately happens. But it's a game of chance. Like we play with dice, and, chance happens. It was good. Good time, as I said. It was good. It was a bit of a drive. The way there was crazy. I got stuck in traffic in around Montreal. For about 2 hours, I was in bumper-to-bumper traffic, which apparently happens in Montreal sometimes, and oh my goodness, did it happen. It was annoying. So I was a couple hours later from where I was hoping to be there, but I eventually got there. And on the way back, I left early. I had to be home by a certain time anyway, because my wife needed the car, but I left plenty early in the morning and got back in good amount of time. I stopped and grabbed food in Ottawa both times, because Ottawa's about, not halfway, but it's about halfway. Ottawa's kind of the midpoint in the journey, kind of. And the weird thing about Ottawa is in Ontario, but it's actually a very heavy French-speaking area because of, it's government, and government you kind of are required to speak. To work for most government places, you have to be able to speak a good amount of French. So that was cool. But yeah, I had a great time. I went, got some ice cream, saw the sights, did a little bit of touristing. We did a battle report, codex review. I went to this, they have a great game store in that area, in that mall, a huge mall, and a huge game store. It sells a lot of things, but it sells a lot of 40K and all the war games and stuff, and had, yeah, great selection in French and English. So, yep, so once again, thank you to Mr. Patrick for allowing me to stay there for a weekend. It was cool. Had a really good time. But yeah, that took up most of my weekend because I left on Friday. And I came back on Sunday, Sunday night by the time I was back. And then it was just, you know, back to work. Filming. This week's been a busy week. At this point, I've already put up, for free, in the Warp, I've put up, up to Thursday's content. I still got to put up the face-off episodes for the week today. I haven't had time to finish up the latest How to Play 40K, but it's almost done. It'll be up soon. It's one of those series it's just hard for me to get up because it just takes a lot of time. And you know, one day I'll be able to dedicate all my time to making videos, but until then it's going to be harder, you know, to make. Good. It's a little bit orangey, but not bad. Let's get him. This guy's actually one of the sergeants from Assault on Black Reach, I'm pretty sure it was. Way back in the day. I had a bunch of just Space Marines that I've bought over the years for tutorials and stuff that I just had, and I haven't even started assembling them yet for this. But I have plenty. I have definitely enough for, and also I found a battle box in a Mega Force in my garage, or my workshop. But I easily have enough for a demi-company, and then the formations are a little more tricky. The thing with formations is that you require a bunch of different things sometimes. Like one of them is a pure elite army, a pure elite section. I'm just going to take the Land Raider one at the beginning because I already have 3 Land Raiders. And eventually I want to take the Librarian one because that one's just hilarious. That one's really powerful. Yeah, it'll be fun. Good. Alright, now should I start the Assault Marines? Or should I continue on with these guys? What time is it? 21 minutes in. See? Assault Marine, right here. Woo! Is that in focus? I think so. See? Yeah, it's in focus. I want to see Jurassic Park eventually. Looks like an okay movie. Seems one of those movies where it's just repeating kind of the old storylines. Maybe I should stop here at the Assault Marines and tackle them in a future video. Because if I work on these guys right now, I can get the Tactical Marine Squad done, or at least well on their way. And I'm going to use the standard codex color scheme. I'm pretty sure it's just red symbols, red lining. Yeah. Sergeants with white helmets. Cool. Yep, and then black bolters. Not a very complicated color scheme. That's okay. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's going to be fun. Let's grab my wet palette. Using my wet palette as always, because wet palettes are awesome. Because they keep paint wet. Let's take out our Mephiston red. And thin it down with a little acrylic medium. And get started on all the red areas. That's cool. If I can do almost a tactical squad video, you know, it's going to be a good amount of work for each video. I'm going to paint another 10, probably 10 or so Marines for my demi-company. At first I'll probably run 3 squads of 5 or maybe up to 10, maybe 2 squads of 5, 1 squad of 10. Because if I run my Land Raider list, that alone, like the Land Raiders take up half my army. It's kind of silly, but the reason why I do it is just so that I can run a fun list. You know, that way I can actually have a Space Marine army. Space Marines. They're not a hard army to paint, so they're not too, they're not that hard, which is nice. They're a great starter army for a lot of people, and even for me, like it's been a refreshing change already. I can feel, the difference between painting these guys and painting Tyranids. It's just one of those armies that you can get away with painting. It doesn't take a lot to paint a Space Marine. Maybe to a high standard, but these are just going to be tabletop standard, Imperial Fists. I can't wait to see them on the table. It'll be exciting. A new army. I technically, this year I've put an Imperial Knight army together technically, but it's going to be cool having a whole new Space Marine army. And new rules I get to try out, and I get to use guys that I don't get to normally use, like my favorite HQ. Lysander. He's going to be fun. He's a bit expensive to use in like a 1,500 point game. I know that, but oh well. He'll make people think twice about getting into close combat with him. Definitely. Good. So red, and then I think it's just the symbols. Yeah. Oh, I should probably also do their eyes. Red. I don't think I'm going to do them green. I think I'll do them red for the eyes. I like the red Space Marine eyes. Let me double check what color. Obviously red for the purity seal. And red for the skull here. A lot of red. Cool. Is the symbol on their guns as well? I think it might be red. Let's see. The codex. There we go. Nope. Silver. Cool. So now I'm just going to take, excuse me, my smaller brush to do the eyes for this guy. like, it's cool. Like after two sets of colors. Obviously, there's more than one color for this guy. These. It'd be hard to argue 3-color minimum already, but he technically does have 3 colors on him. Because of the all the yellows, right? But he looks Imperial Fisty to me. Good. Ooh, look at him. One done. Next one. See, after this video, I'll have a good chunk of Tactical Marines painted up. And I'm on my way to my army, I don't think I'm going to create a whole legion in the end, but definitely enough for battle reports, and I'll add on eventually as well. So these guys are going to be just a simple, like my tabletop standard and my battle report standard. That's all you need. And after this, the reds alone, after the reds, it'll be the metallics and then black and then just the small area of brown for the purity seals. And then they're done. Cool. One done. So yeah, I had a good weekend, and then this week it was busy. Just a lot of work, a lot of filming. The first round of Face Off is in the books for filming, and of the tournament. There were a couple surprised at how close some of the matches were, but there were a couple epic matches. Now, two videos are going to go up today or tomorrow. Because I realized that it'd be better a combination of videos. There's going to be 2 face-off videos. I'm putting them up because they're both going to be relatively short. They're both very quick. Because, as I mentioned, the first round of face-off, there were a couple matchups that just weren't as awesome as some other ones, one of the matchups was, I think this one ended up in the warp, but no pun intended, because obviously Shadows in the Warp, but Tyranids. One of them was Swarmlord versus Abaddon. That was actually a really cool one. I was curious to see who would win. Another one was Lysander and Karn the Betrayer, which once again was a really interesting matchup too. Just seeing them fight it out and seeing who'd win. And then you do the math afterwards and you go, oh yeah, I guess that would make sense why this one won. But it was cool. It was a good matchup. Some of the other matchups weren't as interesting, and I will be putting those videos up as well. Because it's, the first round is not going to be not as interesting. Then each round I think will get more and more epic as the tournament progresses and gets, to the more and more crazy fighters. And then what I'm going to do is, I've decided that I'm going to remove the maybe top 4. And they're not going to be in next season. And I'll add new guys in, and then we'll see, as many new guys as I can. Like, for example, this week's painting tutorial is Azrael in the warp. So if you want to see how I painted up Azrael, look how awesome he looks. Go check out the warp. Look at him. Ooh, Azrael. Yep. So Shout out the Warp, people. The Warp supports me. I got an interesting comment from a viewer the other day. Just like, how can I support you? I was like, well, I'm pretty obvious, you know, with how people can support me. I wrote it back and said this. But obviously there are several ways to support my videos. Obviously watching them and sharing them and liking them and subscribing and all that stuff is good. That really helps. That's like the level 1, the first thing you could do. The Warp obviously is a huge support. If you want to help me out a lot, you know, during the Warp. I think the future of my business and my videos really heavily relies on the Warp, because I just don't make enough on my free channel. And even if you doubled the content, like I put out 2 videos a day, even if you put up both of them for free, I still don't think I'd be anywhere close to being able to live off what I do. The Warp helps greatly in that respect. You know, just like Mini Wargaming thrives off the Vault. That's where they make all their money, is the Vault. So that's obviously a way people can help me. Other ways, you know, people, there's Patreon. I do have a Patreon account for those who just want to support me that can't be a part of the Warp, based on countries and timing and stuff. And they can donate like $1. And obviously none of this is required. I'm not demanding this upon any of you by any means, right? This is just ways if you want to support me, you know, paint along with me as well. That's a good way to support me. Be one of my painters. Paint people. Now, speaking of the Warp, I've decided that in a way to help people see my content, and actually, you know, people have tried, obviously some people have tried the free Warp subscriptions, but I've decided to make next week a preview week for the Warp. Now, any video that I put up in the Warp prior to June 1st will be free to view for 1 week, Monday to Friday. After Friday, they go back to being Warp only. But it'll be fun, because then that way those people who... there's a few reasons why. Number one, obviously, I'm hoping to entice some people into joining the Warp. I'm going to be very transparent on that. You know, just like Matt at Mini Wargaming. As I said, the Warp, I really rely on the Warp subscriptions. If I want to make this my business and my job, I'm going to rely on them heavily. But on top of that, it's not just to make money, obviously, what I'm talking about. It's also because the Warp isn't worldwide. And I really want to show my content to people who don't have access to it, like Germany, for example. They don't have the Warp, because the Warp is not paid YouTube channels are not available in Germany yet for some random reason. And I really want to just show my content to them so that for a week they can actually have access to it and see it and not have to miss out. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing it as well. If people want to join the Warp as a result of it, that's awesome. That's definitely icing on the cake as well, you know. Definitely. But I'm not obsessed about money or anything. I want to do this for a living. And there's only certain ways I can actually do it. Definitely. So as I said, next week I'm going to make a formal announcement, I think. Either Friday or maybe Monday. So. And then, yeah, Monday to Friday next week. So like maybe like Saturday morning technically. All my videos in the Warp that have been put out prior to June 1st. So you still won't see the face-off tournament. You can't just see who wins the face-off tournament in the Warp and stuff. Will be free to watch. Now there'll be advertising probably, because I'm guessing whenever you set it to free again, it puts on the advertising. But that's okay. You know, it just becomes like a normal video. But then you can see all the painting tutorials that I've worked hard on. You know, there's over 50 painting tutorials in the Warp. 50. And they're not all, most of them aren't small models, most of them are characters. Like for 40K, for example, almost every one of them is a character, or a vehicle, or a dreadnought, or, you know, a walker of some sort, or there's 3 different Imperial Knight videos. Because all the Imperial Knights that I play with in my battle reports, all of them got painted, and you know, by me, and the videos of it are in the Warp for painting tutorials. So there's going to be tons of information, and I'll see. Probably some people won't like, you know. Also, you can view like the next 6 months worth of miniature painting 101s. That won't be bad. So, oops. Good thing these guys are plastic. And it'll be good. As I said, just it'll finally allow some people to see my videos that I've worked so hard on. And if people want to join the warp as a result. I know whenever I talk about money, I know people get upset and want to leave and stuff. But the thing is, though, I put a lot of effort and time into my videos, right? As I said, there are a few companies that put out... I haven't been doing the eyes on these guys. Oops. Put them down for a second. I want to do the eyes quickly. Excuse me. The amount of effort I put into my work is pretty high compared to a lot of things. Because, you know, I'm just a one-man show. And there was last week where I got that really nasty message, which put me in a sour mood for a bit. And people still, you know, I got a couple comments about that as well. But I'm a one-man show. You know, and the amount of content I put out for a one-man show is pretty high. I ended up deleting the message. I doubt the person who sent it to me is watching this video, because they unsubscribed. If they are, I think your message was rude, but I don't think you're watching. Look at this. I have a start of an Imperial Fist army. Yay. It'd be really cool just having them. And the reason why I liked Imperial Fists as well was, as I said, I do a lot of blue armies. Blue's my favorite color. I have a green army, I have a several blue armies, and I have a gray army. Like, I have never mastered yellow yet. So the options were red or yellow. I don't have a lot of red in my armies. But I don't want to do Blood Angels. Nothing against Blood Angels, they're just not like thematically, you know. So these guys are red and yellow, and they're going to be fun. I'm excited to paint them up. Next weekend, the Peterborough Music Fest begins. That'll be cool. Reddy Bachman is opening. I'm an old fart. Can't wait to go see him. I'll have to take off my glove in a second. My hands are getting really... I was airbrushing this just before this. That's why I'm wearing a glove, but... holy moly, my hands are sweating underneath that glove. Ooh, there's a mistake. Let's clean that up later. Should we seal? Yep. Let's take off this glove. Yeah, I work hard. So there's, you know. So Michael, if you're listening to this video, Michael was the guy who sent me a message about how can you support me. I'm sorry, Mike, I forgot your last name. Well, I don't want to center you out anyway. But Mike, those are the ways that you want to support me. You know, there's Patreon if you want. There's the Warp. The Warp is the easiest one, because with the Warp you get a bunch of content added 5 times a week. Buying a shirt, simple way of supporting me, you know, and then you get a shirt. And some people buy shirts. I Respect That shirt has been most popular. I was hoping it'd be the Happy Painting or the J face. That's okay. Today I was actually at a store, and I always wear my shirts whenever I'm filming stuff, now that I have them. And I was wearing the same shirt that I'm wearing now, my bright orange Happy Painting shirt. And one of the guys actually I was like, oh, you have a happy painting shirt. You know, he's like, oh, that's cool that you were able to find one. That's. And I was like, oh no, actually I had it made. Because he knows that my saying is happy painting. How many have I done? This is number 5. But yeah, when you talk about money, people tend to get offended easily, and they, say I should be doing this for free. But I spend a lot of my day working on this. When I'm not working at my other job, I work on this, and it's just I can't do it for free. I can't, because it wouldn't. I could never spend the amount of time I do with this for free. I put out 10 videos a week. It's it'd be almost impossible to do that for for free. This will be cool by the end. Next week I'll have this. My goal is to do this really quickly. Like, I'm going to spend some time over the next week, over the upcoming days, and get these guys done, at least to a decent amount of them. If I could have by next week, 20 tacticals painted up, an assault squad, maybe a demi-company by next week. That'd be maybe that's too much to ask, but if I could have that done, it wouldn't be too hard. And the next week I could work on a land speeder, or a drop pod, or a dreadnought. A dreadnought is an optional part of the demi-company. But that'd be cool, because the faster I get this done, the faster you get to see it on the table in battle reports. Oh, Imperial Fists. They are not a complicated army. And eventually I should get the Sentinels of Terra. The Sentinels of Terra supplement. Because then I can run Sentinels of Terra as well. They're cool. They're kind of nastier from a shorter range, because they get, I think, twin-linked bolters, anything, because one of the basically the special rule, one of the special rules for Imperial Fists is that you get to reroll 1s with bolter shots. I gotta sneeze. Bless me. Sorry for those wearing headphones. Imperial Fist gets reroll 1s for any bolter fire, basically, which is cool. So they're hitting on 3s, reroll 1s, a lot of shots. But I think I'm pretty sure Sentinels of Terra, their rule is that their guns are twin-linked from half range. So if you are rapid firing with bolters, their bolters are twin-linked from half range. So that if you're rapid firing, they're twin-linked, which is pretty nasty. That's a good amount of shots that will hit, so you just gotta get close to your opponent. Did I do it again? Nope, he's painted. I didn't do his eyes again. I gotta start doing the eyes. Keep forgetting. I don't even think I'm going to finish the reds today. At least not in this episode. But that's okay. Getting work done, that's what matters. Probably going to call it an episode in 10 minutes. But, I've had a good week. Summer's gonna fly by, because it always does. You know, it always does. The weeks just fly by. You know, I'm doing these painting with J's, and then, you know, you turn around and there's another painting with J, and then you turn around and there's another painting with J, and every time a painting with J happens, a week has gone by, and you go, wow, it just flies by. This is like episode like almost 40. It's crazy. All right, so he's done. Does he have any purity seals? Yep. So let's do the eyes on both of them. That's a great thing about Space Marines. They're not that complicated of a color scheme. So, at least when, excuse me, I need to paint them, they go by fast. One eye. Good. So far in this video, I've done the yellow, well, not the yellow, I shaded them all yellow. And I've done the reds on 6 Space Marines. So in about an hour, it's not bad. So it'll probably take me about 2 hours, maybe 3, to paint a tactical squad. I don't know if that's good. I think it's not bad. A 10-man tactical squad. So if that's the case, I could easily have a chunk of them done next week. Yeah, these tactical marines will still be done. Definitely be done next week. But how many more? We'll see. What else? I have some Devastators. As I said, they're assembled, but I got to paint them. Or just prime them and paint them. A squad of 4 or 5 Devastators with guns, rockets. I need more paint. Yeah, the new Space Marine Codex is good. Dark Angels are right around the corner. Like, GW is not stopping for breath. It's really crazy. GW is, you know, so many codices in the last 4 weeks. Not 4 weeks, 4 months. And they're not stopping. You know, Dark Angels are next, which is good for me. You know, it's like every other week I do a codex review now. It's fun. Yeah, every other week. Maybe I'll use this brush. I've just mixed the paint with this brush, so I'll quickly use it to get some painting on this model quickly. Because I don't want to wipe off the extra paint and waste it. Dark Angels, that'll be good. And so then I'll have to work on some Dark Angel stuff. I'm very curious. Now, the fact that GW kept the ability to take bikes for Space Marines as troops gave me hope that maybe they'll keep Terminators, and so Deathwing and Ravenwing as troops for Dark Angels. If you take like Belial or Azrael. Oops. And that would be awesome. You know, that would be really good if I'd like that, because Green Wing is fun, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't feel that the Dark Angels base tactical marines are worth it, because if you're gonna go base tactical marines, you might as well go vanilla, like Imperial Fists, and have access to grab weapons and such, or the war gear and the special rules. You know, I guess the army-wide special rule for Dark Angels would be, at the moment, it's stubborn, but I don't know. There's better army-wide special rules for Space Marines. And the Deathwing are fun too. They're not the most competitive list either. You know, they're not, but they're fun. I like them, and I like the Dark Angels fluff, and I'm gonna keep playing Dark Angels as well. Like, it's gonna be fun. I have the Space Marine faction together, because because I'll be playing some Dark Angel battle reports again. And maybe after the Space Marines, I'll spend some time and get my Raven Wing all nice and pretty. Obviously, I just got Azraman painted up. So he's going to be cool. And I have Belial. I've ordered Samuel. So Samuel will be done. You know, and then I'll have Samuel done, and Azrael. I have a Librarian. So I have a good selection, and I have like 5 of the sets from Dark Vengeance. And so I have tons of, or 6 sets, I guess. So I have tons of tactical. I'm going to paint, I think I'm going to paint, my mind is everywhere today, it's kind of fun. I'm going to paint one of the Terminator squads from the Dark Vengeance that I have that is unpainted. I'm going to paint them as Imperial Fists. Because that way I have a Terminator squad for them. I don't need 6 squads of Terminators for Dark Angels, I don't think. Or if I do, we'll see. Maybe I'll wait till the codex comes out, and then I'll make the call. But I just don't think I need 6 Deathwing squads. Because unless they get really cheap. His cloak would probably be red, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. It's good to see the Dark Angels getting a new codex. I'm guessing it'll be, I'm hoping that it's heavily influenced by the Space Marine Codex. You know, I'd love to see Whirlwind Squadrons in the Dark Angel Codex. Maybe some cool plasma stuff, because that's their theme of their army is plasma. They should have access to cheap plasma, and it would be, you know, their cool theme. I definitely think they should have access to cheap plasma. Yeah. But it'll be cool. So that means this year alone, Grey Knights have already come out this year. So Grey Knights have already been this year. What else? Grey Knights, Tyranids haven't been new this year. Orcs came out late last year. Orcs came out last year, yeah. So this year, out of all my armies, you know, Space Marines, I get the new studio army of Space Marines, Imperial Knights, Codex, Dark Angels, Necrons. I just don't even have my Necron force running. I should really get that going too. But of course, it's pretty easy when I already have all the models. I don't need to buy any models for this Space Marine car. You know, I'm building a Space Marine faction with no purchases whatsoever. So that's cool. And then I just got to pick up a couple, you know, packs of things for my Necrons, and they're good to go. I just haven't been using them a lot lately because Necrons to me aren't the most, you know, fun battle report. I see other content producers using Necrons, and they don't seem to be getting that positive of a response because they're so OP right now. So plus I have so many other studio armies that I just love playing with. There we go. So he. Yeah. I don't know, I should do it in waves or something, like every week. Do 2 battle reports with an army. One for free, one in the warp. Then mix it up. Next week, different. I tend to go through waves of what I'm interested in. Like, I'm still loving my Grot tank list. It's just so much fun to play with. It really is. So I'll probably bring that one out again soon. I have my new Space Marine faction. Dark Angels are going to be, you know, new in a week. So I'll probably have a reason to play Dark Angels. My Tyranids, I've been working hard to get them painted up. And my Grey Knights are my default travel army. So, good. So, Commander guy. So that's the decision that needs to be made. What armies am I going to play every week? That's the thing about being the, you know, I'm kind of the jack of all trades when it comes to armies, and I play them. I love playing various armies. I have several Xenos armies, several Imperial armies, and I'll play any of them any day, because they're all fun to me. Some are more fun than others. Some are more competitive. In my opinion, some make better battle reports. I'm going to quickly paint all the eyes while I have this brush out. I'm probably going to call it soon. Yeah, we're at an hour. I should call it. Soon. I'm just sitting in my workshop painting. Painting with Jay. Whenever I think of a theme song for my videos, it's always the TGIF thing. It's like painting with Jay. This is good. I'm excited for this. Oh, I'm going to repaint the helmet for the captain. I'm going to do it. I forgot that the sergeant helmet is white. So, or maybe I'll paint the eyes now and then paint around them white. For Imperial Fists, they typically use the helmets as white. Good. These guys are going to be all done for next week. And then I don't know what I'll be on next week. Probably more Imperial Fists. Look at that. Alright, so we're probably going to call it here because we're at an hour. This video is going to take a long time to render. But I've gotten some work done. I have now Imperial Fists with red on them. And they're now, you know, they're looking like Imperial Fists. That's good. And then I just got to do the metal and a couple other colors. So once again, that concludes another Painting with Jay. I really hope you had fun. You got some work done. I got some work done. My Space Marines are on their way, people. Vanilla Marines coming to battle reports near you soon. And it'll be a lot of fun. Once again, if you want to purchase your own Happy Painting t-shirt, like this one, check out miniwargamerj.spreadshirt.com and purchase one for yourself, because then that way you can have Happy Painting too. And bring Happy Painting everyone. You don't have to bring orange. But I like orange because it's just been a fun color. And yeah, so thank you very much for once again for watching, for painting along. Hope you got stuff done. Until next time, this is Jay saying, Happy Painting with Jay.